Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Hope you guys are all having an amazing Tuesday. In this video, there's going to be a little bit of information that I'm going to be talking about and covering, kind of an update on the TechBot Solutions group and Learn Plan Profit group and the overall direction that I'll be having with the different entities of TechBot Solutions at the very end of the video. Just for those that are tuning in for the first time and aren't familiar with who it is that I am, my name is Ricky. I have a group. It's called TechBot Solutions. We're one of the fastest and largest growing private trading communities out there. You're more than welcome to join if it's something that you would like to be a part of. You could always opt out of the group. It's a free group. It's the third link in the description. And if you've always wanted to be a part of a group where it's based on sharing best practices, sharing mistakes, and effort to promote overall group growth. We have an amazing trading community that you can definitely benefit from, and if it ends up being something that you end up not wanting to be a part of, then you could 100% end up leaving the Facebook group or the Discord group at any time. There'll be something that I'll be talking about at the end of the video that covers a little bit about that. Yeah, I'm still here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to be in Miami in a couple minutes. I leave back to Arizona in a couple hours as of tomorrow. But I wanted to quickly cover two of my trades today. Today was a very slow day. Was still able to end it green, but it was, even if it ended up being red, it was because of a preparation of a swing trade that I'm going to be talking about, and this is going to be the top ETF that I see value in. We have 3 rules within our TechBot Solutions trading community, and those 3 rules are: you never invest based on other people's opinion, you never invest in what you don't understand, and you always have a plan before investing, making sure that you have a full understanding of the overall risk management and stuff like that. Let's go ahead, and I'm just going to break down the specific stock that it is that I see value in. I don't know if you guys watched yesterday's video. I talked about 2 to 3 different stocks that I was kind of watching when it came down to like DGAS, UGAS, LABU, and JNUG. And LABU ended up performing exactly how it is that we expected. Ended up, confirming that uptrend, breaking above that $100 price point. Ended up hitting exactly, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I said like 102.5. Ended up hitting highs of 103. So it exceeded our expectation. Was not able to take a position on it myself. The 2.5%, you guys might be asking, why is that even worth it? That margin is worth it for me. If it's not worth it for you, then we must have like different trading styles, which is 100% okay. There's a bunch of free content on YouTube that you can definitely benefit from if you don't like the way that I break things down and stuff like that. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and talked about LABU. I'm going to talk about, I'll show you guys the P&L. Hopefully it'll still show. It shows to be 12:06 a.m. here. No, it still shows. So it shows $9 profit. And again, the profit was almost irrelevant. I was really just trying to break even when it came down to my position on DGAS. And then on UGAS is the one that I see the most value in. This one I'm up so far, $59.50. Again, very small. That's not even what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the overall pattern and the direction of UGAS, why it is that I see value in it, and kind of focusing more on my thought process. So I hope that my breakdown can kind of make sense to you on why it is that I see value in it, and for you to use that template on breaking it down on how it's led to my success in that perspective. So pretty much what I like to look at is the overall first direction of the company. So what I usually do is I take a step back and I look at the 180-day chart, and I kind of see how the stock, ETF, or equity it is, and the pattern that how it has been trading. And you can see that UGAS has been doing exceptionally well, right? It's been very bullish, been showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern on the big picture charts. Obviously, if I don't plan to hold it for a very long period of time, these patterns are going to become a little bit more relevant. But something that I do want to focus on is kind of this pattern where it had this sell-off last time and it consolidated right around $62, and then it pushed right back up to 68. There's like this horizontal pattern, this consolidation, as the SMA line catches up. You can see that the MACD indicator was starting to curve back in, and the RSI is around the same price point, or the same range of where it was right before it started to reverse. Overall, the way that I broke this down is I looked at this 20-day 1-hour analysis. I saw that the SMA line and all that good stuff was still actively trending up, and I called it out for those that are part of the Learn Plan Profit group. It's something that I saw value in, and because DGAS, being the inverse ETF of this one, was showing more signs of this thing being on the overbought side. And overall, if you look at the overall direction for DGAS, it's been showing more of a descending pattern. It kind of makes sense on why, I benefited from DGAS the past 2 days. Well, $9 today. I think it was $1,400 yesterday. You guys can watch yesterday's video. I covered a little bit over, I'm sorry, it was over $2,000 yesterday. You guys can watch the video. I showed my profits but I actually think it was only $415 on DGAS and a little bit over $2,000 on LABD. But altogether, why is it that I'm making this transition of now no more paying attention to DGAS and now focusing on UGAS? It has to do with the idea of what's it called? It has to do with the idea that I see UGAS to be a little bit more on the oversold side, and I tend to see DGAS as of right now in its current state a little bit more on the overbought side. So again, I see DGAS as no longer a good deal. I see UGAS as a little bit more of a good deal. It's at a range where it normally tends to bounce at. Again, there's no full-on confirmation, so the position that I took in today, if it begins to break below $62, I'm going to have to be on high alert for a potential break of pattern. And then if it ends up breaking below this SMA indicator, then I've obviously done something wrong, and then I would most likely have to cut losses at that specific price point. So as long as it continues to stay within the range of $62 and then it starts to show signs of an uptrend, what I would really like to see tomorrow is for it to break above $63, hopefully around 64, starting to indicate a full-on uptrend. Leading up to its natural gas report that it has on Thursday. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday, but leading up to the natural gas report, that's usually been bullish. If you guys have watched any of the patterns when it comes down to the natural gas reportings and everything that has acted as a catalyst for this bullish pattern for these natural gas ETFs, then you'll understand that correlation. But overall, very simple breakdown. I see this horizontal pattern, ascending uptrend pattern. Support here around $62, resistance at around $68. I see about a 9.4, let's just say a 9% margin of profit. The 9% is really irrelevant, right? It's more like that's the range that it has to cover. But in reality, I would like as of right now, my average price is right around, what is this, 62.64, right? So as of right now, I wouldn't even mind if my average was at around $64. And the reason why is I'm going to continue to add to my position as it continues to confirm an uptrend. If it starts to sell off and starts to confirm a break of pattern, then obviously I'll start to sell off some shares. And if you guys are part of the Learn, Plan, Profit Lesson Library, have watched me trade for a while, then you'll understand that correlation that I don't like investing in something that's descending. I like to add more to my position when something is confirming an uptrend, right? So I have all my alerts set right here. My first one set at $64, the following one set at $65, and then the following one set at $66, as those are reminders to continue to add more to my position. And I also have my alert set right here if it breaks below $62, as that would be an indication for a potential break of pattern. That is really just it. I think that this looking at previous patterns, so why do I think that this is going to take about 2 to 3 days for it to complete this range? Well, looking at the last couple of days, I think that tomorrow, we might see some consolidation between $62 and $64, and then the days that follow, I think that within 2 to 3 days, we'll be able to complete the margin from around $64 all the way up to $68. Based on previous patterns, it takes 1, 2, 3, on average about 3 days. So 1, 2, 3, about 3 days for it to fulfill usually this margin of about that 7 to 9%. So I'm just going based off previous patterns. It's something that I see value in. Doesn't mean that it's something that you have to see value in at all whatsoever. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about, I think someone within the TechBot Solutions group just talked about it, is the overall horizontal pattern. So JNEG has been actually showing more signs of this kind of like bearish pattern. It's been more of a descending pattern. You can look at the overall forward/GC future itself and understand the correlation between that. Overall support at around 1380, overall resistance at around 1440. It's been making lower highs, so let's make sure that we take that into consideration. We talked about the peak yesterday on JDSC, so we called that out perfectly. Now the overall reversal right now happening for JNEG and the bounce that it had around the 1380 price point definitely makes sense because this is at a known support area. I would say as it gets closer to 1420 to 1440, I would become more comfortable as labeling that as a sell area. So if you're not already in already, the opportunity cost might not even be worth it for you to be able to capitalize, within this margin. So if you see it trending up between the middle and top view up tomorrow, and you see value in it, and you see that margin of profit to be worth it, then great. But if you don't see value in it at all, then 100% there's no reason for you to even have to force a position. And again, I think one of the best positions that you can take is end up not taking one at all, right? And I actually just wanted to end this video with some closing statements, if that's okay with you guys. I don't have anything prepared or anything like that. I'm just setting all this up. So BBY was legit today. Can't wait till tomorrow. Bradley, I do agree. I think that one was called out in our Learn, Plan, Profit live stream and stuff like that. And we did end up breaking it down. So I think I do have it in my active watch list or my pending reversals watch list. But I personally have not invested in it at all. So it will be something that we'll break down tomorrow and stuff like that. So what I wanted to say was that if you're part of TechBud Solutions today, I first want to apologize for the inconvenience of this disruption that we experienced today within our chat. First of all, I want to take full ownership for what it is that has happened. So there was this video that I uploaded yesterday talking about my $2,400 profit day. There was an individual that was pretty much calling me out for saying that I have taken more than 2 losses this year when I show my trades every day, and I don't necessarily need everyone to believe me and stuff like that. I 100% what's it called? Made that video yesterday based on impulse and based on a childish kind of like impulse of just like lashing back with the direct message that I received by one of his friends, and how it is that I used it and positioned it, I think was just very childish altogether. And that was 100% just not okay, right? And after, I mean, I didn't really think too much of it. My friends around me that are coming with me on this trip and stuff like that told me that that wasn't the right thing to do. I didn't really think much of it until I received a direct message from one of our members within TechBud Solutions, and talking to me about how he he gave me an example of in his life experience where he had a girlfriend, and then his friend, right, started throwing it in his face that he was hooking up with his girlfriend as well, and it brought suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. And regardless of that video that I made, and the biggest thing that I want to talk about just with everything that is that was said was just very childish, and the last thing that I want to do is to cause any like real problems, like real problems. Like it was just this joke, but it wasn't necessarily even a funny joke. And you guys know how it is that I try to carry myself when it comes down to my YouTube videos, and I definitely let my emotions get to the best of me when it came down to making that statement. And it wasn't only just because of that and that individual and his bad experience and how the last thing that I want to do is to actually cause any harm to anyone, right? And I truly, yeah, that's all that it is that I wanted to say. I think I really don't know. When it comes down to the overall, just there's something that happened today with TechBuds, and I think it might have been because of the statement that I said yesterday, or but also requesting people to like display their username and then to refrain from using bad language in the group. People think that the stock market has to be a group where you have to be extremely vulgar and stuff like that, and that's exactly what I want to move away from. And I feel like I could have definitely approached it in a much more I guess professional way. I didn't have to give that exact example, so pretty much I asked the members within TechBud Solutions to not cuss and to change their usernames to their first name and last name. I suggested it, right? It wasn't something that had to happen. It rubbed people off in a wrong way, and it caused a huge ruckus within the chat, and I want to apologize for anyone that I disrupted today. There is some things that I'm going to be implementing, but there also is going to be changes with my overall persona and what it is that I end up wanting to do. The last thing that I want to do is to discourage anyone, and like all this kind of like BS like that we are talking about and stuff like that, and it just so this is a perfect example of like what's it called, of the people that I would like to avoid from our group. So you could see this individual Hans Basando. He's saying he banned everyone who actually contributes to his platform, and that's exactly like what it is that we want to stray away from. We have individuals like this that are very emotional, and that make these are individuals that we don't want part of our group whatsoever, right? And it's people that are very disrespectful, that just are very one-sided, and I can understand that. What it is that I said yesterday is 100%, I could have handled it much better. But when people make statements like that, or when people act very childish, or think that just because the stock market right now is a market that's mainly dominated by men, right, and that is very aggressive, that it also has to be very vulgar, and that's definitely not the case. I'm not someone that within my YouTube channels that perceives or wants to amplify any form of group or community that's based on vulgarity or subjugating anyone in any way. And if that's not okay with you, then there's a very amazing thing that you can do, and it's like you cannot be a part of this community 100%. I really do appreciate, and I want to give a shout out to 100%, and I'll give him credit for everything, to Lupo. Lupo was a huge asset to TechBud Solutions. There's no question about that. If he ends up making a YouTube channel and all that, I would 100% encourage you to follow him based on the value that he can provide. Same with Brad, and same with a lot of the members that we've been partnered up with. But the biggest thing that I want to refrain from is just because a current market is in a current state and it's viewed as a certain type of way, doesn't mean that it has to be like that all the time. We have a bunch of younger individuals that I have a huge influence on, and that is not the type of community that I want to promote nor want to be a part of. So if it's not something that I want to be a part of, then it's something that I'm not going to host. And if that's not okay with you, then you definitely don't have to be part of our trading community. And all I wanted to end it with was, with TechBud Solutions, our goal has always been to provide free tools and resources in being able to act as an incentive and act as a catalyst for other people's success. And that's something that we've been creating, the partners that we have with the developers and the websites that we're going to be working on to share for free, I think can truly disrupt this market when it comes down to the stock market and the different markets when it comes down to investing. And I know it is, we're going to be releasing a series of applications within the next couple of days, and there is no question that I think we can definitely act as a huge catalyst for a lot of people's success with these simple tools and resources that we are going to be implementing, obviously for free. And some people get turned off by the idea that what's it called? Yeah, so some people get turned off by the idea of me having a course, or me having my free group, or having we have over 100,000 members within TechBud Solutions, right? And we have thousands of members that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit. If you guys 100% just don't like me or don't like my trading community, then you guys don't have to be a part of it. I apologize for disrespecting or subjugating anyone in any way, and that is the last thing that I want to do. And actually, I had my partners for TechBud Solutions to tell me not to talk about this, but I wanted to be 100% transparent and 100% honest. I value everyone that has brought value. I want to value everyone that acts as a asset to TechBud Solutions, but to a certain extent, I think there's certain ways that things should or should not be handled. I'm here to communicate with anyone that wants to partner up with anyone. But the biggest thing is that these decisions are made, and we spend time with who it is that we see value in. And if you don't see value in me, then just don't watch my videos, don't be a part of my group, and keep it that simple. I have never thrown anything under, and people. People made a couple examples of that I was letting kind of the followers or the money kind of get to me and stuff like that, and I can 100%, and also with that it comes with the girls, right? And people felt that my overall persona has changed, and that is exactly why I'm going to be implementing this change. I'm going to focus less on making fun YouTube videos or funny YouTube videos with my cars and my friends, and kind of stick to the basics of just providing value for you guys, kind of going back to the basics of just working with the TechBud Solutions group, working with the Learn, Plan, Profit group, and keeping it from that. So that is really just it. I want, first of all, for those that don't like me, I can't do anything about you guys not liking me. I want to apologize for anyone that I rubbed off in the wrong way. If you guys no longer see value in me, I 100% understand that. I just want you guys to know that a lot of the decisions that I did make within the past maybe 24 hours were not the best ones. I'm human, I make mistakes, and obviously I do have a huge influence on a couple 100,000 people, so I want to apologize for that in advance. I want to apologize to the individual that I ended up kind of throwing under the bus when it came down to their friend direct messaged me and stuff like that. That was not cool, and I hope that and in no way, right, it brought any negative, it's dumb, right? Because obviously it brought just a negative idea, and I just want to apologize. It's not something that I wanted really to, it's not something that I really thought about. So my apologies. Hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. We have an amazing week to look forward to, a lot of margin of profit in my opinion, and that is really just it. If you guys have any questions or any recommendations, you guys know how to reach out to me. You guys can reach out to me with an info@techbudsolutions.com. I would love to answer your questions. If you want to be a part of our group, the free group is the third link in the description. If you guys want the ability to watch me trade live every single day, if you guys see value in that, invest 30 seconds, click that first link in the description. And that is really just it. Huge apologies. Thank you again for huge apologies for what it is that happened today, and I want you guys to know that, and that I'm just going to kind of go back to how it is that we started, and just focus on working with providing free and quality content for the masses, and working with our private group and stuff like that. So that is really just it. So thank you guys, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.